Hi, guys, and good afternoon, creeps. You already know it's time for another direct upload. Okay, guys, so yesterday I was talking about being a positive force in a negative world. And unfortunately, I was interrupted by my daughter Ashlyn, and I wasn't able to complete the message. So some of this will be repeated, and but it just goes with the flow. Okay. So let me tell you something. If you are positive, there's always two sides to a story, and there's always two types of people in this world. You got good people, and you got bad people, and you got positive people, and you got negative people. And um, sometimes in life, if you come across a negative person and you're trying to share something with them so that they won't look at something in a bad way. So you try your best to reason with them, to try to tell them, hey, look, this is not what you think it is. It's something else. And it's actually not bad. It's actually something good. Okay, but when you're trying to reach out to them and you're trying to explain something to them and they just refuse to look at it differently, they want to look at it in a bad way, and you're trying to tell them, no, this is really what's happening. It's actually not bad. It's good. But you try and you just can't reason with them. So if you have tried to reason with a negative person and try to share with them the positive things that are happening, and they just don't want to understand. They don't want to be reasonable. They don't want to be good about it. They just want to constantly be downing the situation and constantly belittling you or the situation or whatever it may be. Okay, so once you find out at that point that you just cannot reason with this person to see the good in something, then honestly, at that point, you really do just have to just realize, and it's a hard realization, that sometimes that person is just not your friend, first of all. The person is not being your friend. That person does not love you. And that person, let me tell you something. If the person is, this is just my life lessons that I've learned, and maybe it might help you in dealing with certain types of people, or it might help you to understand certain types of people. Unfortunately, if somebody is not your friend and they don't love you, and you're trying to get them to be understanding about something about you, and then they keep on bad-mouthing you and belittling you and degrading you and downing you, then you have to realize that person is just simply not your friend. Okay, so if they're not going to be your friend, then you just have to realize that, and unfortunately, it's a hard pill to swallow, but unfortunately, if somebody is not going to be reasonable, if they're not going to be understanding, and they can't see the good in something that you're trying to present, and they are always looking at it in a bad way, then you have to realize, okay, this person is not my friend, and there is no love there. Because honestly, when somebody loves you, they will try to be understanding. They will look at the bright side. They will try to find the positive aspects in something. They will give you a moment to explain. If you have tried to explain and they keep on cutting you off and they keep on telling you they don't want to hear it, and you're trying to tell them, hey, look, listen to this. This is what happened. And then they'd be like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care what you got to say. This, that, and the other. And they just cussing you out and they just bad-mouthing you and belittling you. And you're trying to explain, look, yo, you're looking at this the wrong way. What the fuck? And you just can't reason with them because they just gonna be that way. Okay. If they go behind your back and they try to pit somebody else in your family against you, by telling lies about you and bad-mouthing you to the next person, you have to realize that person is not your motherfucking friend. Because ain't nobody that loves you going to try to pit you against the next person. Somebody pitting you against somebody, and doing this and that, and then they say, and then you ask them, well, why did they say that? Oh, they learned it from off of a video, I guess. And I mean, it's like, how would they learn it? How would they learn these bad things off of a video? And then the shit that they saying don't make no sense at all. Nobody would get information from somebody to say bad things off of a cartoon. Okay, we're talking, this story might not make sense because I'm not trying to tell you everything, but I had recently had somebody to pit somebody against somebody, which I'm not telling you everything, so obviously it's going to seem kind of cryptic, and you're probably like, I'm not getting all the story. But I didn't have somebody try to pit somebody against me. Pitting people against me, what the fuck? And you're supposed to be my friend and you're pitting somebody against me? How does that work out? And we're supposed to be friends. How does that work out when we're supposed to be, friends, not enemies? You actually pitting somebody against me. And I'm like, well, how would they learn all this stuff? Why would they say all these mean things to me? Oh, they must have learned it from off of a cartoon video. What? Why? How would they learn all that off of a cartoon video? Is that fucking stupid, guys? Is that fucking stupid? Is on that level of stupidity. So what I'm trying to tell you is, let me give you something. Let me tell you something about certain people, and learn this. If you got somebody running up to you and you got somebody like that's bad-mouthing the next motherfucker, and they bad-mouthing this motherfucker all the time, and they bad-mouthing this motherfucker behind their back, and then they start saying, well, you shouldn't like this person and you shouldn't talk to this person because this person is bad and this person is this or that. Just know that somebody could be trying to play a mind game with you, and they could be trying to do divide and conquer. And when somebody is doing divide and conquer, that means that they're trying to separate you and the next person. So learn this trick in life. Don't let nobody pit you against somebody else. If you haven't heard something come out of somebody's mouth directly, and you know this person has a reputation for going back and forth, pitting people against each other, do not believe nothing that comes out of their mouth, because they are a liar, and they are just trying to do divide and conquer for whatever reason. They're trying to destroy your relationship with the next person because they don't have a relationship with that person and they're mad. So what I'm trying to tell you is, don't let nobody do divide and conquer on you. If somebody is giving you information on the next motherfucker and they're telling you bad shit that this person supposedly did, but you've never witnessed any of this stuff your goddamn self, don't let nobody do divide and conquer on you. Because divide and conquer is when somebody is pitting somebody against the next person, and they're trying to separate you and destroy your relationship with that person. And you could be so fucking stupid that you fall for it, and then they done just won the divide and conquer. Because believe me, that's a real term. Divide and conquer is when you divide people and when you separate people from each other so that they can't talk. A lot of times people do this when they're trying to keep a secret and they don't want you to find out, and they want to separate people from each other so that they can't talk and communicate. So I'm old enough to know when somebody is trying to do a divide and conquer game on me, I'm not going to, be the dumbass person. I'm not going to be the dumbass. Because if I didn't see this stuff for myself, or I didn't witness this stuff for myself, I'm not going to believe just this person that's just running back and forth, constantly saying he said, she said, garbage. That's for children. Okay. Somebody doing he said, she said, somebody doing divide and conquer. Just don't believe a person like that. If you got a person in your life that's doing he said, she said this about you, she said that about you, this person said this about you, and then they just running back and forth and going behind people's back saying that he said, that's what he said, she said is. Then when somebody go back behind your back and say, he said, she said, he said this about you, she said that about you. And then you ask them, well, what the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, no, I ain't say nothing. I ain't say nothing. Okay, well, what the fuck you tell me that for if you don't want to tell me exactly what he said, she said? Well, I'm not going to tell you everything they said, but they said some bad stuff about you behind your back. What? How old are we? Are we in elementary school, middle school, or high school? I remember that type of shit popping off with elementary, middle school, and high school students. I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't have time for no he said, she said. So anyway, I'm just telling you guys about a certain personality style. And if you got this personality style in your life, you need to learn how to deal with this type of personality style. Because the personality style that I'm describing is a very negative force on this planet. And believe it or not, I have somebody in my life that is doing he says, she says, dumbass shit, divide and conquers, pitting people against each other and all that type of shit. And it's like, can you please grow up? Like, you need to grow the fuck up, because you need to understand that what you're doing is some dumb shit. What you're doing is some stupid ass shit for a child. Okay, so anyway, guys, let me tell you something. Just try to, if it's this person in your life and you then try to make them find the good in you, that, you know, they think you're ugly and you tell them, look, bitch, I'm not ugly, but yet they go behind your back and tell people that you're ugly and all this type of stuff, and then they talking about you in all different other ways, and you then try to tell this person, look, that's your opinion, please stop going around telling people this shit, and then they next thing you know, they at it again. So let me tell you something. What I have found out is that if you done tried to make this person see the good in you and you can't, and they got all these other issues about themselves, and then they go behind your back, and then you trying to tell them what's going on, and they don't want to listen because they got all this horrible shit in their minds about you that's not even real. Okay, it's not even the reality of what's really happening, and they just insist on not being able to change their mind on, you know, what the situation is. So what I'm trying to tell you, let me just make it, because I can't tell you all the direct information on what the fuck I'm talking about. So I'm sorry if it's all over the place. I'm sorry, but the point is how to deal with a negative motherfucker in your life. Okay, here's how you deal with it. What you got to do, if you done tried to make this person see the positive side of things and you can't, this grasp this. If you done tried your best to make this motherfucker see the positive side of things and they can't, okay, then you have to realize this motherfucker is just negative and they ain't gonna change. So you just got to keep on being positive. You got to keep on smiling, and you got to keep on moving. You got to keep on, I'm not saying move away. I'm talking about keep moving with your positivity, because they just gonna be the same negative motherfucker till the day they goddamn drop dead. So, you know, they ain't never gonna change. They ain't never gonna be positive forces. They're just always gonna be that nasty motherfucker that you know try to reason with. And if you can't, then you just have to just realize the motherfucker is not capable of loving you. Because honestly, if somebody genuinely loved you, if somebody was genuinely your friend, then they would be able to see the good in the situations that you're trying to explain. But if they can't be reasoned with and they refuse to see the positive side of things, then you have to just realize the motherfucker just is not capable of loving you, and the person is not capable of ever being your goddamn friend. So just know, you just know, they just, you know, at this point, you just say, okay, fuck it. I tried, but the person just is not going to be my friend, and the person just ain't gonna never love me. So, you know, if that is the way that the person feels, then that's just the way they're gonna have to feel. Because, you know, as long as you love yourself, and as long as you know the reality of what's going on, and the person refused to hear your side of the story, on what the thing was that was going on. So if that's the case, then if they you can't reason with them to see the bright side on the situations, and they can't see the bright side because they're too down in the dumps and they're too miserable and hateful. Well, I guess you just have to learn. You just have to learn that, when somebody is miserable, hateful, and evil, and ornery, and angry all the time, there's nothing you can do about that, because that's just their personality, and that's just how they're going to live their life. So, only thing you can do is stay positive, stay a positive force. And even if you try again to reach out to them and try to tell them, hey, this is what this is and this is what that is. And hey, stop trying to pit people against me. Hey, stop bad-mouthing me behind my back. Hey, stop it with the he said, she said bullshit. And they still just continue to do it, then unfortunately, and if they done already pit somebody against you, and the person is always got an attitude every time they see you for no reason, you could be trying to be nice and cordial. Like, I tried to be nice and cordial to, I think, somebody that this person is pitting against me. I tried to say, hey, I sent you a text message. I just got your message. I sent you a text message. And the person got smart and said, well, we already talked. I'm like, why couldn't you just say thank you? I got it. Why couldn't you just say, oh, okay, thanks, I got the message? Why would you get an attitude and act like it's so horrible? I was just trying to be cordial and polite. That's it. That's all I was trying to do. I was trying to be polite and cordial, and just to return your text message. I just wanted to acknowledge you. That's it. But it seemed like I was getting attitude like, we already spoke. I'm like, why was that even necessary? All you had to do was say thank you. I don't get it. Why would somebody be so nasty with their response when all I tried to do is be cordial and polite? So from what I know, it probably it seemed like whatever happened, it seemed like somebody maybe put something in his head to just be mad for no reason. I don't know what this person is mad about, but, it seemed like the person was too fucking stupid to know who this person is probably pitting you against me. Maybe they told you a whole bunch of stupid shit, and, they're probably pitting you against me. So, anyway, let me tell you something, guys. Wait a minute, Ash. I'll be out there in a minute. So, what I'm trying to say is that, don't let nobody pit you against each other. Don't ever let nobody pit you against the next person. If you got somebody coming to you and they're talking about somebody behind their back, and you don't know for sure what is happening, and you don't know because you didn't witness any of this stuff and you haven't seen any of this stuff, don't just fall for somebody pitting you against the next person, because somebody could be pitting you against the next person. And if you are too fucking stupid to realize this person's antics, and you in your 40s and you don't know better than to catch on when somebody is trying to pit you against the next person, you are stupid as fuck if you don't get that. Because I know when somebody trying to pit me against somebody, and I don't play that. Because I'm not going to be pit against the next person. I'm not. Because honestly, I know when people trying to do that. And honestly, they just playing mind games. And honestly, they're too fucking stupid. I'm old. I'm not going to tell you my age, but I'm old and wise. And I done seen it. I done been around it. And I know when somebody trying to pit somebody against the next person. And they trying to pit against the next person, and they trying to do divide and conquer, and they, that's just their stupid ass game. But am I going to be the dumbass to fall for it? Hell no, I'm not. I'm not going to fall for it, because I already know the game. I already know how that works. And I am not going to be the dumbass person to fall for that stupid shit that person is trying to pull. So don't you be nobody's show pony. Don't you be nobody's dumbass Don't you be the person that they're pitting against the next person. Don't be that fucking dumbass, because honestly, you would have to be really stupid to fall for that trick. That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. Pitting somebody against each other. He said, she said drama. I'm too old for that shit. I already know. I survived going to school with people like that in elementary school, middle school, and high school. I survived all that stupid shit, and I'm the age that I am now. It's none of your business what my age is, but I'm the age that I am now, and I know I'm not going to fall for that stupid ass game. So anyway, let me get it. Let me tell you. Okay, what was the moral of this video? How do you handle negative people? Honestly, you have to figure out who they are. And then you just have to say, okay, I just realized this person is not my motherfucking friend. And this person does not love me at all. Because when people are your friends, they got your back. When people love you, they actually show it. And you can reason with them and you can explain things to them, and they're willing and able to accept new information. But when somebody is just being an asshole to you and they're not going to try to be reasonable with you, just know they don't love you and they're not your friend. So, just know who your friends are. Know who love you, and actually just know who they are. Know your friends, know your enemies, know the people that love you, and know the people that hate you. That's the moral of the story. Know your friends and know your enemies, because they are two different people. But sometimes your enemy can come at you posing as a friend, and that person is actually your enemy, because they actually hate you. They actually pitting people against you behind your back. They're doing he said, she said bullshit, and you can't reason with them. You can't tell them the beauty of things because they don't want to accept it. And honestly, some of these people, the closest people to you, sometimes can be the worst people for you, because they're close to you, and they got access to you. So they can be the worst people for you at the end of the day. So anyway, guys, that's all for now. Live fiercely, love viciously, and remember, atheism is unstoppable.